Every species has magic. Maybe those without magic simply fail to survive and die out. Maybe magical power is a requirement for intelligence. Maybe it is something else entirely. No one knows why, but it appears to be a fundamental rule of existence. Across the cosmos, magic is as universal as life itself, a force that shapes civilizations, builds technologies, and binds societies. The form it takes may differ from species to species, but all have it, for without it, no species could truly thrive. The Korthasi have their weavecraft, a form of magic so elegant it seems to transcend the limitations of the physical universe. Their weave ships fold reality into itself, slipping through the fabric of space as though it were nothing more than an illusion. A journey that would take years is shortened to mere moments, their ships arriving at their destinations with the grace of a thought made manifest. The Cerithians, in turn, wield their pulse binding, a magic that connects their cities to the very heart of their worlds. The air around them hums with rhythmic light, a resonance and harmony with the natural frequencies of their surroundings. Entire cities pulse in unison, communicating and protecting themselves through the beat of the universe itself, a constant flow of energy that guides them like a song. The Ulthrani have their void carving, a manipulation of the vacuum of space so profound it allows them to carve pathways through the cosmos itself. Their magic shields them from the harshness of space, makes them invisible to the prying eyes of enemies, and allows them to create trails of starlight that serve as conduits for their caravans of knowledge and exploration. The Zephril, Tzolk'in, Nimari, and so many more. Countless species, countless forms of magic. Every encounter with a new civilization adds to the wonder of the universe, as we learn to understand their unique magic and learn how to combine their magic with our own. The Cerithians' pulse binding is used to enhance the Korthasi's weavecraft, creating weave ships that resonate with the natural frequencies of the space they pass through, allowing for even faster travel. The Ulthrani's void carving could be blended with the Tzolk'in's gravitational manipulation, allowing for intricate pathways through space, bending both time and mass in impossible ways. When different kinds of magic converge, new dimensions of potential open up before us. These moments of convergence often lead to unprecedented advancements that shape the very fabric of civilizations, pushing them further into the vastness of the cosmos and revealing new wonders in the process. Every species has magic, so you can imagine our confusion when we first met a species that claimed to have none. We first encountered them on the edge of what we thought was unclaimed space, a stretch of the stars where few had dared to venture. Their vessels were angular, almost brutish in appearance, in stark contrast to the sleek, elegant designs favoured by most interstellar civilizations. Yet despite their seemingly crude exterior, their ships moved with a precision and purpose that was unnerving. It was as though they knew something we did not, as though their movements were guided by an invisible hand. When we finally opened contact, it began as the typical exchange of curiosities. We asked them about their magic, the force that propelled their crude-looking ships, and allowed them to communicate over vast distances. What kind of magic did they possess? What ancient and powerful force did they tap into to traverse the stars? Their answers were baffling. They said they had no magic. In fact, they had never heard of such a thing, at least not in the way we understood it. They told us that they believed magic didn't exist, that it was merely a myth, a concept born of misunderstanding. They said that, for them, the universe operated by certain laws that could be understood through study and observation, and that it was through their knowledge of these laws that they had achieved what they had. When we asked how they had managed to venture out into space without the benefit of magic, they spoke of forces and materials that could be manipulated without invoking the threads of reality, without harmonizing with the universal pulses, and without carving pathways through the void. They mentioned things like engines and fuel. Their vessels were moved not by manipulating the fabric of the cosmos, but by a concept they called propulsion. When we pressed further, asking how they could travel faster than light without bending space itself, they calmly explained something called warp drives, powered by fusion reactions. It sounded like nonsense, like a fantastical story spun by some naive child. How could they travel faster than light without magic? We had all but dismissed their explanation, assuming it to be an elaborate lie or a misunderstanding. But their presence was undeniable proof that whatever they did worked. Even more bewildering was their explanation of communication. When we asked how they could send messages across light years, they mentioned radio waves and something called quantum entanglement. They had no need for enhanced crystals or telepathic relay systems. When we asked how they survived the harshness of space, how they lived without the protective barriers or shielding we had come to rely on, they pointed to their understanding of engineering and chemistry, fields we had never thought of as magical at all. They had built their survival, not through spells or rituals, but through careful manipulation of materials, crafting tools and systems, to protect themselves from the vacuum of space. But it was their explanation of computers that truly shook us to our core. They claimed to have created thinking machines, complex arrangements of silicon circuits and electricity, that could perform calculations and even mimic intelligence. A thinking machine without the use of any magic, no essence binding, no soul forging, and no enchantments at all. They spoke of these devices as though they were nothing more than tools, mere objects that could be built and improved upon. Every species has magic. The humans are no different. They just call it science.